Ofgem, the energy regulator, has confirmed the amount you pay for gas and electricity will be dropping by an average 7%, which will come into effect from the 1st of July.
But what does that actually mean for households? The man himself, Martin Lewis, joins us now. Martin, welcome to Good Morning Britain. Now, tell us, how is this really going to work for people at home? We've heard from Keir Starmer this morning and his big plans. We've heard from Claire Coutinho, the Energy Minister. But really, how will people feel this in their pockets?
Well, I think I'm assessing it as there's good, there's bad, and there's ugly in what's going on today. So let's start with the good. Ofgem, the energy regulator, has announced that on the 1st of April, the energy price cap will be dropping by an average 7%. Now, the price cap is what dictates the amount that homes on a standard tariff are on. Now, if you're not on a fix and you're not on a special tariff and you're not sure what tariff you're on the energy price cap. 80% of homes in England, Scotland and Wales are on the price cap. It doesn't apply to Northern Ireland. So that's most people watching are on a price cap tariff. And while it dictates the maximum that firms can charge on their standard rates, they all charge the maximum. So it effectively dictates the price. On the 1st of July, on average, the price will drop 7%. Now, I don't like using the typical use figure because no household is really typical use. So I explain it like this. For every £100 you pay on gas and electricity now, you will pay roughly £93 on the 1st of July. And that price cap lasts 3 months. So £7 cheaper per £100. That's the good news.
Now, but we've also heard, though, Martin, that it's likely to go up again, isn't it, in October? And is that because, you know, there's more energy used because we all put our heating back on at that time? But it seems a bit unfair, really.
You're slightly ruining my analogy because that's the ugly, but we'll do the ugly before we do the bad.
Oh, OK.
Right, look. Yeah, the current predictions just come out from Cornwall Insight, who are the analysts that I tend to use for predicting these things, are that in October, the energy price cap will rise a whopping 12%. That's way more than we thought it was going to rise previously. So what that means, let's just put it in perspective. For every £100 you pay now, on the 1st of July, it's confirmed, you will pay £93. But then from the 1st of October, if the prediction is right, you will pay £104 more than you are paying now. And then the 1st of January crystal ball prediction is that you will continue to pay the £104. It will be unchanged from then. So what you have to look at and factor into all this is how likely is that prediction to come true? Well, the energy price cap is based on a published algorithm based on underlying wholesale prices. We are 1 week through the 3-month analysis period for October. So it's very early days, but Cornwall do also factor the predictions of what's likely to happen in the market in the next couple of months. So generally, these predictions tend to be the right scale of magnitude unless something big happens on the global political scale that would affect wholesale prices. So it might not be 12%, it might be 6%, it might be 18%, but we are certainly, the strong likelihood is looking at a rise in October, which may be another reason the election was called early. If energy prices is going to feed in and mean that inflation comes back, people are all paying a lot more. And certainly by August, I would have been out there shouting, yeah, the price cap announcement hasn't happened yet, but it is going to go up in October, and that wouldn't have been particularly good. So I think there is a political dynamic then. Shall I do the bad as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
The bad is I need to put my glasses on and it reflects badly on this screen. But, OK, the bad is the standing charges, the charges people hate, those daily charges just for having gas and electricity are unchanged in July. Now, the standing charges for me are a moral hazard. They mean that lower users don't benefit from price cuts as much and can't benefit that much from cutting their usage. Here's what the new rates will be. The electricity unit rates are down around 9%. The gas unit rates are down around 9%. But the electricity standing charge remains at 60.1p a day. You pay 60p a day just for having the facility of having electricity, even if you don't use it. The gas standing charge remains at 31.4p a day. So you will pay that every day, even over the summer if you're not turning the gas on. And many older homes and older people have gas central heating that they don't use at all in the summer, and yet they're still paying 31p a day for it, which is not on. It is outrageous. Now, I've been lobbying and pushing Ofgem on this for a long time. Been lobbying and pushing the government. I missed Claire Coutinho. I know you've had her on before.
Yeah, we did ask her about it, Martin. You missed it, and she didn't commit to it other than saying she's always been putting pressure on Ofgem. They've conducted some research and listening to complaints. Are you saying in a way that, obviously we're in election campaign day 2, that if either party could sort of commit to delivering that, that would be a big thing?
Well, it is strictly currently in Ofgem's decision, and it's doing a consultation. It's expected to report in the summer. But of course, government set Ofgem's remit, so they could overpower Ofgem if they chose to, using Parliament. Now, I'll tell you the secret that's been going on there. I've been in meetings with the Secretary of State for Energy about standing charges, about smart meters, about the overall competitiveness of the energy market and how price caps work. They were due to publish a government piece of work today on what the government was going to do, but then the election was called, so it becomes a manifesto type or a party commitment. The messages I have been giving to Claire Coutinho, I have also been saying to the Labour Party. I met Rachel Reeves a couple of weeks ago because I try and meet all parties and remain politically neutral. I cannot tell you, and I know so many people are angry about the standing charges. I vociferously get messages from people saying when they're going to cut it. Let me just say to people, to Good Morning Britain viewers, I promise you, in every political meeting I'm having at the moment, top of my list, one of the big 3 things I say is, if you want to make electoral capital, promise to cut standing charges. People hate it. And the best way to do that is you get Ofgem to cut it, but you put some protections in for high-using vulnerable people at the same time that needs to come from government. That has been said very loudly, very clearly to the Conservatives and to the Labour Party, and I'd happily say it to every other party, and I'm getting the message out there now. So I think we will see standing charges coming down this summer from Ofgem. I don't know whether it will be enough. And I think certainly that's things to ask when those people come knocking at your door and they want your votes. If you don't like standing charges, tell the candidates. If enough candidates here you don't like standing charges, it will be passed through to the party leaders.
And it will hopefully appear somewhere in some kind of manifesto or spin-off manifesto, because it's what people want. I think what you have succeeded in doing this morning, Martin, is making sure people would just vote for you, as they always do. So I know your answer on that, but always good to talk to you.
You're as bad as each other.
Always good to talk to you, Martin. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thanks, Martin.